powerful and rapidly intensifying tropical system, designated as Typhoon Jangmi, Typhoon No. 6, by the Japan Meteorological Agency, JMA, has initiated a violent and catastrophic direct assault on Japan's southernmost subtropical prefecture of Okinawa. Moving with deceptive speed across the warm waters of the East China Sea, the storm has brought the critical strategic and touristic archipelago to a complete, unprecedented standstill. As of early June 2026, ferocious wind gusts peaking at 162 kilometers per hour, approximately 90 knots, and unprecedented torrential downpours have knocked out vital power grids, submerged major urban thoroughfares under feet of rushing water, and forced thousands of vulnerable residents to flee into emergency municipal shelters under high-level government evacuation mandates. The central government in Tokyo, operating in tandem with prefecture authorities in Naha, has activated its highest-tier disaster emergency response protocols. Senior weather forecasters warn that Typhoon Jangmi is interacting with an existing moisture-heavy stationary seasonal rain front, Bayuzensen, exponentially magnifying the system's capacity to unleash catastrophic flash floods and widespread landslides. The danger is not confined to the southern islands. Meteorological models confirm that after exhausting its fury on the Ryukyu chain, Jangmi is projected to curve sharply northeastward, putting mainland Japan, including the heavily populated metropolitan corridors of Osaka, Nagoya, and Tokyo, in its direct line of fire later this week. According to the Specialized Tropical Cyclone Tracking Division of the Japan Meteorological Agency, JMA, Typhoon Jangmi underwent a phase of rapid intensification over the weekend, fueled by unusually high sea surface temperatures in the Philippine Sea and East China Sea, which are currently hovering near 28.5 degrees, well above historical averages for the first week of June. Dropped sharply to a suffocating 975 hectopascals, HPA, with internal structures showing a tightly wound, highly organized eye wall. Maximum sustained winds near the center have been clocked at 108 km/h, 30 meters per second. Instantaneous maximum gusts have reached a destructive 162 km/h, 45 meters per second, capable of overturning vehicles and ripping structural roofs apart. Moving north-northwest at approximately 20 kilometers per hour, a velocity that prolongs the duration of destructive wind exposure over the flat, low-lying islands of the Okinawa archipelago. Satellite imagery utilized by both the JMA and the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, JTWC, indicates that Jangmi's wind field spans a radius of nearly 350 kilometers, meaning that even as the center of the storm tracks slightly west of Naha, the entire main island of Okinawa, alongside the Miyako and Yaeyama island groups, is experiencing severe gale-force conditions. The barometric pressure continues to fall, raising fears among meteorologists that the typhoon could further consolidate its strength before making full landfall or passing closest to the Amami Island chain in Kagoshima Prefecture. The physical manifestation of Typhoon Jangmi's arrival has been nothing short of terrifying for the residents of Okinawa. From the early morning hours, the island has been battered by a relentless wall of wind and blinding horizontal rain that has severely compromised local infrastructure. The regional utility provider, Okinawa Electric Power Company, reported a massive surge in emergency calls as the high winds began severing high-voltage transmission lines and toppling concrete utility poles. Over 7,500 residential households and commercial properties across Naha, Urasoe, and Okinawa City were plunged into complete darkness. Critical facilities, including regional hospitals and disaster management communication centers, were forced to immediately transition to localized diesel-powered emergency backup generators. Repair crews have been completely grounded. The utility company issued a public statement explaining that bucket trucks and technicians cannot be safely deployed into the field until sustained wind speeds drop below the safety threshold of 15 meters per second. In Naha's famous international shopping street, Kokusai-dori, the scene was ghostly and chaotic. Normally bustling with thousands of global tourists, the street was entirely deserted, with structural awnings torn to shreds and metal signage violently twisting in the gale. Debris, including shattered glass from shattered upper-story windows and uprooted palm trees, littered the asphalt. Worse still is the escalating hydrologic crisis. The Kokuba and Asato rivers, which cut through urban Naha, have risen to near bank-full capacity due to localized precipitation intensities exceeding 50 millimeters per hour. Low-lying residential sectors have reported severe urban street flooding, with water levels reaching the hoods of abandoned vehicles. In the rugged, mountainous northern district of the island, known as Kunigami, the earth has reached total saturation. The JMA has issued level 4 landslide alerts for the region, warning that the unstable volcanic soil could give way at any moment, threatening isolated rural villages and blocking crucial coastal highways. As a premier global travel destination and a vital linchpin for international logistics in East Asia, Okinawa's total transportation shutdown has caused massive ripple effects across the entire Asia-Pacific aviation and maritime sectors. Naha International Airport, OKA, resembled an evacuated fortress on Monday and Tuesday. Airport authorities officially suspended all ground handling operations and closed both passenger terminals as wind shear values crossed dangerous operational thresholds. Major Japanese domestic carriers, including Japan Airlines, JL, and All Nippon Airways, ANA, alongside low-cost subsidiaries like Peach Aviation, have officially canceled more than 400 scheduled flights. An estimated 25,000 passengers have seen their travel itineraries disrupted. International routes connecting Okinawa to major regional capitals, such as Taipei Taoyuan, Seoul Incheon, Hong Kong, and Shanghai Pudong, have been completely scrubbed from the departure boards. Aviation analysts estimate that the multi-day shutdown will cost regional airlines and airport concessions millions of dollars in lost revenue, with a backlog of stranded passengers that could take up to a week to clear once skies turn blue. The maritime isolation of Okinawa is total. The regional Coast Guard has barred all vessels from exiting ports, as the outer ocean swells have escalated into monstrous 10-meter-high waves. All inter-island ferry services, which provide an economic lifeline for fuel, food, and medical supplies to outlying islands like Tokashiki, Zamami, and Kumijima, have been scratched indefinitely. On land, the Okinawa Urban Monorail, affectionately known as the Yui Rail, halted its elevated operations early Monday morning due to the extreme danger posed by high-altitude crosswinds. Local bus consortiums followed suit, pulling all vehicles off the roads. Additionally, the Okinawa Expressway, the primary vehicular artery connecting the southern metro zone to the northern military and civilian sectors, was blocked off by highway patrol officers to prevent catastrophic wind-induced truck rollovers. In Tokyo, Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba convened an emergency cabinet meeting at the Prime Minister's official residence, Kantei, to establish an official disaster response liaison office. Addressing reporters, the Chief Cabinet Secretary emphasized that the state's primary, absolute objective is the preservation of human life, urging local populations not to underestimate the destructive potential of Typhoon Jangmi. Under Japan's highly organized, revised 5-level disaster alert system, local mayors across Okinawa have taken the aggressive step of issuing level 4 evacuation orders, evacuation instruction, Hinanshiki, for high-risk floodplains and cliffside sectors. A level 4 directive means that disaster conditions are imminent or already occurring, and all citizens residing in designated hazard zones must immediately abandon their properties and relocate to reinforced concrete municipal structures, such as school gymnasiums or civic community centers. Local civil defense authorities have converted dozens of public schools into makeshift evacuation facilities. Social distancing barriers, emergency rations, clean water supplies, and medical triage stations have been erected inside these shelters. Municipal workers, wearing helmets and high-visibility rain gear, have been conducting door-to-door checks in elderly neighborhoods, helping frail and mobility-impaired residents into emergency transport vehicles before rising waters isolate their properties completely. Okinawa is not only a hub of civilian life and tourism, but also hosts the highest concentration of United States military forces in Japan, making Typhoon Jangmi a matter of significant strategic and operational concern for international defense analysts. The United States Military Command in Okinawa, headquartered at Kadena Air Base and Marine Corps Camp Foster, shifted its operational posture to Tropical Cyclone Condition of Readiness 1, TCCOR-1, early Monday, under TCCOR-1 protocols.By. All non-essential military and civilian personnel are ordered to remain confined inside their hardened concrete base housing units or private off-base residences. Multi-million-dollar tactical assets, including advanced F-15EX fighter jets, KC-135 aerial refuelers, and maritime patrol aircraft stationed at Kadena Air Base, were either flown out to safe alternative bases in Guam and mainland Japan over the weekend, or secured inside massive, typhoon-proof concrete hangars. All military training exercises across the island's vast terrestrial and maritime training ranges have been suspended. Base commissaries and exchange stores closed their doors early after experiencing a massive rush of military families stocking up on water, non-perishable foodstuffs, and flashlights. Military engineers are working closely with Okinawa Prefectural Emergency Services to ensure that base infrastructure does not contribute to localized flooding, and military medical assets have been placed on standby to assist Japanese first responders if humanitarian rescue operations become necessary in the storm's aftermath. Meanwhile, a powerful mid-latitude atmospheric trough moving across the Sea of Japan is expected to catch Typhoon Jangmi over the next 24 to 36 hours. This atmospheric interaction will force the typhoon to execute a sharp, accelerating right-hand turn, steering it directly along the southern Pacific coastline of Japan's main island, Honshu. The outer bands of Jangmi will slam into the mountainous terrain of Shikoku and the Kansai region, including the Osaka, Kyoto, and Kobe metropolitan areas. Forecasters expect the terrain to trigger orographic lift, squeezing out up to 300 millimeters of rain in less than 24 hours. The risk of major river systems, such as the Yodo River, breaching their banks is being actively monitored. By Wednesday night, the core of the tropical moisture field will align directly over the Tokai region, Shizuoka, Nagoya, and the Kanto Plain, which encompasses the Tokyo Grand Metropolitan Area. Tokyo is projected to receive anywhere from 200 to 300 millimeters of precipitation in a concentrated burst. This volume represents more than the average total rainfall for the entire month of June, raising immediate red flags for the city's sophisticated but vulnerable subterranean drainage systems. Central Japan Railway Company, JR Central, and West Japan Railway Company, JR West, have already issued preliminary travel advisories for the Tokaido and Sanyo Shinkansen lines, the high-speed rail backbones that connect Tokyo to Osaka and Fukuoka. Engineers warn that if hourly precipitation monitors along the tracks register values exceeding strict safety thresholds, automated safety systems will halt the bullet trains instantly. Travelers are being urged to cancel or drastically alter their cross-country travel plans between Wednesday and Thursday, as massive delays, cancellations, and operational suspensions are deemed highly probable.